Well, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do this short video on painting trees. I've had a lot of people recently asking if I could do a short video regarding various trees, so I'm going to tackle this one. These two trees are quite famous in our area. They've got a name as the kissing trees. It's two trees just up this quiet country road. It's the only trees within miles of it, and I can quite understand how people have made this name for the local two trees, the kissing trees. Anyway, it was my wife and I went up this walk during the summer, and as you can see, it's a super day, sun blaring, no clouds. So I'm going to first of all make a quick sketch and then we'll get on with the painting. Okay, so we'll make a quick sketch. Just want to use the photograph again just to point out what I'm going to do. That's the halfway line in the photograph. The horizon is below it. So I just want to make sure that I do that when I start. So halfway down's about there. So I don't want that road to go much above that line. Right, so let's start. So I'm just going to take this down. Again, you'll see that line that I've just drawn there in the photograph is about the centre of the page, and this one goes out, so it's a good starter for you. So that's about the centre, and the other side of the road starts to widen out, takes you down there, and then we're going round the corner. And I'll just put the line across for the horizon line. There's a hill away in the distance which is quite nice, but the rest is just shrubs and bushes, and same here. Now there's a hedge, just let you see this, on the left hand side, so it starts about there and goes right up towards the tree. So it's quite a big hedge, so we'll put that in just now, and then it starts to get smaller as it goes up towards the tree, and it goes round the corner. So that'll be in the shade. I just want to darken that a bit. So there we are, that's quite a nice start for the road. And there's some tuftier bits of grass. It's not a hedge, but it just gives a definition for this field. Right, so that's the road done. Now, just want to have a look at this again. This top of the trees is quite a bit from the top of the painting, so I want to leave a nice gap, so I don't want it to be any higher than that. Alright, just going to take this out a bit for you to let you see all this. Okay, so I'm going to start with the tree on the right hand side, which is about here. Quite a thick tree, this. And then there's branches. This is where it all separates, and you get these super different shapes of branches. And I've got the one on the other side. It's the foliage further down, and then it breaks up again, and you get these super thin branches that go across and join up together to form the the kissing trees. So I'm just going to put that bit of foliage in, and that should about do. Quite a nice start. Right, there's one thing that always amazes me about trees. You should have a look at this when you're out and about. The number of trees that you see that looks as if somebody's been across there with a trimmer and just trimmed them up. They're so super, yeah, just nature at its best. Right, that's the sketch done. Let's get on with the painting. Well, this sky is a classic example. I can remember the day. Super, not a cloud in the sky. So we've got nice cobalt blue all the way down. Now remember, the sky is darker up here than it is down here, so we have to make sure we get that in the painting. So I've got the big flat brush again, and just going to mix up, swing round, let you see. Now you can see I've just I've filled up the well with cobalt blue and ultramarine blue here. Super, I like when you get new fresh paint in again. So I'm just adding water first of all. Now get some, see how super that is when it's nice and soft like that. Right, now that's quite dark. That's good for the top. So I'm going to leave it like that. That should do. But as I get to the bottom, I'll be reducing that with more water. So let's get started. Now this is not as easy as it looks. This is what's called a flat wash, where you basically have to fill the whole paper in, and the secret is not to have any streaky lines. You don't see any lines in the sky. The sky is just a sheet of pure blue, so you've got to be very quick, and I'm just going to go ahead and let you see what I mean. So here we go, I'm just going to try this. Yeah, that should be okay. So quick strokes, work your way down. Right, this is where we need to be quick now. No going back now. And now I'm just going to add some water to soften that off. And that should about do. This is dangerous territory here now, what I'm doing, going back over. But I just need to get that a little bit lighter. Right, what I'm going to do now is just going to put this flat for a minute, just to let it all dry. Right, there we are. Well, the sky is finished. But I don't know if you can see this, but this paper, there's a sort of a cockle there. There's a big wash, a lot of water in it. And this paper wasn't heavy enough to take all this. So that will dry, but it's just one of the issues, as I mentioned when I was talking about paper. I usually use 200 pound weight paper. This is only 140, so it just shows you a big heavy wash of water has started to disrupt that paper, but it will dry. Right, so now what we're going to do now, I'm going to tackle the going to get the road, I think. I'll paint that in first, that nice grey colour. So I'm going to, I've still got some of this nice blue here. I'm just going to add some light red, and hopefully get a nice light grey. Get some more of my new cobalt blue. Oh, see how strong it is. And a little bit of light red, super grey. Now that's far too dark. Just going to get my scrap piece of paper again, just put it down here to test it. Yeah, that's too dark. So what I need to do is just put some water in, soften it down. I only want it to be about a 3 value. So we'll see what this looks like. Right. It's still a touch dark, so I'm just going to add some more water. It was a summer's day, and the sun was really quite strong that day. So this path will be, it's a nice light grey colour. Right, that's okay. Quite nice. Right, that's fine. That's the path done. So now I'm going to paint the fields. So there's a light green here, and a light green there. And then I'll do the hedge and this shrubs here, the tufty grass. Right, so it's the old faithful cadmium yellow. I've got some new yellow as well. And some Windsor blue. Now that's too rich a green. That's the danger of that colour. But we just need to add some more yellow. That'll take it down. There we are. That's quite nice. Nice spring, summery green for the field. Right, so let's just fill it all in. So I want that bit there. And over on this side as well. I want this. So I'm just going to leave the hedge part just now. We'll paint that in later. Right, that's nice. And I'm going to use the same green down here for the grassy area, just leading towards the path. I think that's dry. I'm just going to test it. No, it's not. Better watch. Don't want that going all over the road. Right, that's fine. Just want to keep it nice and bright. So I'm just going to go over to the other side, this field on the right hand side here. And just going to fill that bit in as well. Right, that's okay, it's looking quite summery. Nice and fresh green. Right, that'll do. Just finish that off there. Right. So what tackle now is this hedge on the left hand side, and as you can see it's a more sort of mossy green colour, and then this big dark green for the lights coming from the left, as you can see the shadows, so this will be quite a strong dark. So two greens, a mossy green and a dark green. So for the mossy green, I'm going to use some yellow ochre. And I'm going to add a bit of ultramarine blue, some new paint as well. It's just a bit too, I'm going to add some yellow and a bit of blue. That's better. Now, I need to go back to the hedge and put this mossy green. I'm just testing it here. Yeah, that should do. It's not bad. Right, so just get this in. This is the top of the hedge, and yeah, that goes right around there. The field. Right. There's some nice bits of yellow in the hedge, so I might just try and drop some of that in. Some little bits. Yeah, just going to, and there's a bit there. Right. I want to get that dark green. What I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to just use up some of this colour for this bit here. There's, as I say, there's just some tufty bits of grass. It's not a hedge, but it separates the field area here. Just going to add some bits of yellow just to freshen it up. Right, that'll do. Now, I want to get this dark green in here, so probably just stick with the old favourites, burnt umber. Just going to let you see this. Some brown, and a bit of Windsor blue. There we are, super dark green. So let's get this in. And then it starts to just get behind the edge. As I say, the light's coming this way, Right. Okay, that's quite nice. So we're nearly finished the greenery. There's one or two bushes in the background. I'm going to use some of that mossy green colour again just to kind of use it up. And just going to put some in there. It's just a range of different sizes. There's one or two bigger ones. And take this along here. One or two dark bits, shadows. Right, just going to carry that around. There's that trunk now, it's a bit there, so I'll just fill this in. And there's another bit there. And this is going round the corner. Right, two shadowy bits. Right, that'll do. So now we have to tackle the trees. I'm actually going to start with the leafy parts up the top here, and I'll paint the branches and the trunks in later. So just swing round here. So I've got some of that green left, which is not too bad actually. Just going to add a little bit of yellow ochre and a bit of Windsor blue. Now I'll go around and try this. Now this will be too strong. What I mean by too strong, it will be too high a value. So I really just want to try and put some water in there. I'll just let you see what I'm doing here. I'm just adding a little bit of water to get the value down a bit. But the other problem when you're doing trees like this, I need to get a piece of paper now. That is far too much paint on there. I'll just let you see what I mean by that. There's a piece of scrap. I really just want to get a nice feathered edge. Now if you watch, if I put some paint on here, look at that, it's just water, it's a solid mass. So what I have to do is get a towel here and just dab some of the paint off, and then we'll go up and try it. Now I've still can see the lines of the pencil, so I'm just going to make a start here. That's still a bit too much water there. I don't want a big thick solid line, I just want, that's better. Better. This is quite tricky, this, but it's super when you get it finished. I just want to drag some more down here. Now, there's one or two in here, and there's a bit over there, and there's a big section growing up there. That's better. See that lovely broken bit. And there's some over here. Again, it's not a solid line, it's just broken bits. That'll do. Right. Now that's a good start. It's up to me now to try and put these branches in there. Slightly darker, I'll do that. The light, remember, is coming this way, so there'll be some darker bits, but I can do that afterwards. Right, that's not too bad. It's going to a thicker bit there. Right. Now what I want to do is get the trunks in. So I'm going to mix up a brown. Just mixing up some burnt umber and a little bit of ultramarine blue, gives you a right dark brown colour. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to start off on the right hand side here with a trunk going from there. It's going right into this area here. And it's going up through, and in a minute I'm going to get the rigger brush to paint in some of these thin branches. Right, that's not too bad. Just going to quickly go over to the other side and paint the big trunk in there. There's a bit goes up like that. Right. So just before I right, that's a mistake, that's too far down there. These trees are opposite each other, so I just want to dab that out. That's better. It's important that you get this. So just before I leave, I just want to soften that off with water so that we get a nice light part to the trunk. Same with this one and this one. Right, I'll go back and put some of that stronger dark brown that I had. Same there. Right, that starts to give you the shape of the tree with the light, light and dark. Now I need to get the rigger. So now I'm going to carry on with these thin branches as they spread up through into the foliage. So I'm just carry on over on the right hand side here. So they're just going to be on the edge of the foliage just now, and then I'll soften them off, and they'll then go into the foliage, which really just sets it off. Right, that's not too bad. There's one coming up here. This is when these rigger brushes come into their own. They're super. They almost start to go themselves. If you just press on them, and they start to spring about all over the place, which is great. That's what you want. Right, that's not too bad, starting to take shape. Right, there's one or two just across here. I'm just going to go over to this one for a minute, the left hand one, and start pushing some. There's a nice one, goes up here, it's got a separates, yeah, and up through here. And there's another one that starts to come up here. Again, as I say, I'm just pressing on these and they start to go their own way, and as you can see it starts to look quite effective. Another one up here. And lastly there's one over on the right hand side. Right. Well, that's looking quite presentable. Just a little tip before I finish off the trees. You'll see that I was drawing the lines for the branches up the way and spreading them through the green parts. I see a lot of students do this coming down the way, and when you put the paint on the brush at first, just like you see, it's going to be thicker. You know, if it's thicker and then it gets thinner, that's what you want. Branches are always thinner. Don't do it the other way around. Try and, because you'll end up, you've still got thick branches. So just a point when you're doing this. Right, I'm going to try and finish this off now with some, finish off the foliage area on the trees with some slightly darker colours. The light is coming in from the left, so there's a lot of big dark bits over on the right hand side of a lot of these bushes, so just want to mix up a dark green again. Just got to be very careful here that I don't waste this. So, right, there's one or two really strong dark bits in here. Down here. And a couple of bits there. And there's some of it on this right hand side. And one or two bits, not too many up here. And that's about it. Right. Right, that's fine. Now these bits where I put the branches through. I'm just going to drop some water in round about them, a light green colour, and just soften them off a bit. So we want to make sure they look as if they're going through the foliage areas and not on the outside. So just get some water and a bit of your light green colour that you've got, and just smudge it about, and there you are. That helps to make these branches look as if they're going through the foliage area. Right, I think that'll do for the trees. That's fine. So let's quickly finish this now. I want to add some detail. I'm going to get the rigger out and just splash some bits and pieces about. So I want to try and add a bit of detail here to the hedge. So I'm just going to keep using that dark brown that I've got, dark green, sorry, and I'm just going to put some little bits here and there. Just to suggest the sort of texture of the shape of these rough bushes. It's amazing how just some little strokes like this help to bring it to life. That's fine. Right, just going to add some bits and pieces of darks over on the side of these bushes. And some tufty bits of grass in here. Just a bit of definition for the road, the shape. Going to darken these bits just a touch to help the shape for the yellow part. I don't want to be overdoing this, I'm just trying to get darks and lights here. Try and get some little tufty bits down the front here. In the foreground. And same here. See if I can get a nice green colour. One or two bits here. Right, it's okay. Now I'm just going to add one or two bits up here on the left hand side. And I think that's about it. We've got a big super shadow now to go over the road here. So I'm going to use the two colours that I use for a shadow. I'm going to use ultramarine blue and a bit of light red. And that should be fine. Right, let's get this in. So I've got this shadow which comes across the road here. Goes out and up the bank. And then there's a big shadow for this tree. Coming right across the field. I just love these shadows, they're absolutely super, it just changes that painting. Just make that a little bit darker. Right, I think that's about it. Two little bits that I've noticed that I quite like. There's a sort of a hill away in the distance. I'm just going to put it in to give that a bit of depth. Right, and that's okay. And the last bit is, I'm just going to try and add a bit of shape to this road, and then just put a dirty colour in. It's a dirty colour. I'll show you just now. Right, that's fine. And I think that'll do. So here we have the kissing trees in all their splendour. Quite pleased with the painting, it's turned out well. It's got that summery look about it, with the cobalt blue sky, lighter in the distance, and yeah, the trees themselves have turned out fine. So hopefully you've enjoyed this exercise in how to paint trees. A topic that comes up quite a lot is it okay to trace a sketch before starting to paint? Well, I'm going to make a short video on this shortly, so keep watching the painting book playlist and you'll come across that then, which will hopefully help you with your painting in the future.